Peace of love and blessings, my people. This is Anna Renee, and I am your love power goddess, coming to you today, reading from the book Ancient Astrological Secrets of the Jews Revealed by Reuven Shomroni. Once again, we are back once again, my people, and it's getting closer and closer to the end of the cycle with this book. As I have said in the past, I started with the sign of Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac. I don't really know why I started at the end, but that's what I did. And so now I have gotten all the way through to Capricorn. So all that's left is Aquarius after this sign, and then I will have completed the entire cycle. So yes, my people, we are in the sign of Capricorn right now. We've already finished the first decan of the sign. We're moving into the second decan, which is going to start on the new year, and today is December 31st. So we are about to move into the new year 2016. This millennium is 16 years old already. How about that? So yes, what do the spirits tell us about the sign of Capricorn? Let's dive right in. Yes, my people. Capricorn, the sea goat, December 22nd to January 20th. Ruling intelligence of this sign, Asher, wealth, attainment, and prestige. Planetary ruler, Saturn, which is governed by the Sephira Zophikiel, the mysteries, secrecy, disasters, the middle ground between time and eternity, the inevitable and the infinite. Kabbalistic number 4. Specific qualities endowed by particularly emphasized by each of the signs decanates are as follows. That sentence did not read right, did it? That's the way it's been printed. It's misprinted. Specific qualities endowed by or particularly emphasized by. They forgot to put the word or in there. Each of the signs decanates are as follows. December 22nd through the 31st, inclusive, favorable aspects, good fortune. January 1st through the 10th, inclusive, false starts, reverses, work repeated. And January 11th through the 20th, inclusive, irritability, abrasiveness of nature, lack of subtlety, success through battering thrusts. Well, oh my God. My second husband was a Capricorn in that third decan, and oh my God. Irritability, abrasiveness of nature, lack of subtlety, success through battering thrusts. Damn if that don't describe him to a damn T. Wow, that's deep. Anyway, my people, Capricorn is another of the zodiacal signs that is not fully understood, or at least not adequately analyzed and interpreted by modern astrologers. Oh boy, we love it when he when he determines that the sign has not been read properly by the modern astrologers. He really goes in on that. This is going to be fun. We must trace the history of Capricorn, or Capricornus, as it is known to students of ancient astrology. Capricornus, okay, back to its Chaldean origins. It was then looked upon as the sign of reaping, of the bringing in of the harvest. Later, the Egyptians having amassed a storehouse of information about the sign, associated it with Anubis, the jackal-faced god of the dead. Okay, Anubis, the jackal-faced god of the dead. That, of course, is the Greek term, and I can't remember what the Egyptian term is right now. I need to get my Egyptian iconography on point, but Anubis is not the way we name that anymore. But anyway, in the Greco-Roman system, this association was changed to the goddess Vesta, and with apparent justification. The Greeks and Romans noted that Capricornians often endowed many of the virgin, the prudish, and spinsterish qualities customarily and wrongly ascribed to Virgo by today's astrologers. The Greco-Roman school further postulated that there was an inherent duplicity in Capricornian virginity, quotes unquote, and it was a show facade behind which lay cold-blooded lust. Wow. Ancient Jewish astrologers, poring over Chaldean, Egyptian, and Greco-Roman sources, and also relying on the astrological knowledge and experience they themselves had gained, now added another dimension to Capricornus. They associated the sign with Malkuth, ascribed to it the qualities of a sign of patriarchal descent and rulership derived from antiquity. In other words, the Hebrews held that Capricorn was extremely conventional and conservative, slavishly obedient to traditional authority, revering ancient doctrines and usages. These various facets assume major proportions in delineating 10th sign nature and personality. Indeed, they might be considered as the cornerstones on which to construct any overall analysis of Capricorn. The sign is ultra-conservative, resistant to change, often rigid and uncompromising, intolerant and severe, ruthless and vindictive. It is also often a sign that produces people who, to be charitable, are inclined to possess double standards of sexual morality. They demand that everyone else adhere to the most straight-laced codes, to which they themselves give lip service, while their own sexual behavior is something altogether different, frequently operating at a carnal, totally concupiscent level. Capricorn is not a fortunate sign, nor a sign of success. Whoa. Okay, let me stop right there. I'm not going to say anything. I just got to take a sip of some tea. Wow, he's really going in on Capricorn, huh? Wow. Whew. Yet Capricorn natives are often among the most successful of all people. The apparent contradiction is explained by such traits as dogged perseverance, money and prestige orientation, and a refusal, even an inability to recognize and admit defeat. Wow, that's heavy. The archetypal Capricorn native is persevering, indefatigable in the pursuit of success. Once he or she has begun something, every effort will be expended to complete the task, regardless of obstacles or reverses. Indeed, it is often said that Capricorn is a sign that thrives on adversity, drawing more and ever more obstinate strength from each setback. The influence of ruling planet Saturn and its governing Sephira is very much evident in the personality and nature of 10th sign natives. Saturn is a severe disciplinarian, and it is not a planet of youth or of young ideas. It restrains and limits, often exerts a malefic influence, becomes sympathetic and benign only when the native has reached mature years, even middle or old age. Oh my God. And I got a lot of Capricorn influences in my own chart. Oh my God. Okay. Alright, let's finish. Thank God I'm a Sagittarius though. Capricorn natives are sometimes humorless, dour, irascible, set in their ways, and having no patience with others who seek to bring about changes, even when such changes are clearly for the better. On the credit side of the ledger, the 10th sign endows those born under it with a solid, extremely practical and utilitarian mind and outlook. Natives are ambitious, prudent, serious, excellent, if rather cautious, strategists, and superb politicians. Some noted Capricorns: Benjamin Franklin, Daniel Webster, Woodrow Wilson, Al Smith, President Richard M. Nixon, David Lloyd George. And David Lloyd George. On the distaff side, Marion Davies, Ava Gardner, Jane Wyman, and Marlene Dietrich. Okay. You, the individual. Things do not come easily for you, Capricorn, and it's highly doubtful if you'd want them to be easy. It's part of your nature to enjoy triumphing over odds. The heavier, the better. You are much concerned with outward appearances, with what you consider the essential ingredients of dignity, prestige, your standing in the community. This often leads Capricorns to become snobbish, fierce social climbers. There is much in your nature that reveres tradition, especially as it may obtain in your family lineage. You are truly an ancestor worshiper, taking immense pride in any accomplishments of your forebears, and conveniently ignoring any among them who fail to live up to your standards of social and financial achievement. Jewish astrology takes full cognizance of this facet of Capricorn nature. Hebrew sources call attention to the dynastic outlook so frequently found among 10th sign folk, who view the family as a sacred institution. They demand that the family unit and family tradition be first and foremost in the minds and hearts of all its members. They are quick to disown any member who brings what they consider to be discredit on the family. In many instances, Capricorns carry this concept to absurd extremes, setting impossible, arbitrary standards. My goodness gracious. I'm shocked about this. Not because I disbelieve it, but because it's so on point to the Capricorn that I knew. Anyway, the ancients also underscored 10th sign tendencies to be dogmatic and to cling blindly to obsolete ideas and methods merely because they were held and used by past generations. More than a few Capricorns appeared to believe that whatever was good in the dim past must necessarily be equally good today. Perhaps you've noted some of these traits in yourself, Capricorn. Hopefully, you've done something to correct them, for the world does not stand still, and very little in it remain static over the decades and down through the generations. You have many positive qualities, Capricorn, and you should cultivate them and give them a chance to work for you. Among them is a phenomenal capacity for hard work and an innate willingness to perform it. Then you have a great deal of managerial talent, and this will carry you far, provided you do not succumb to that familiar 10th sign fault of being martinet rather than manager, and that you are no less strict and demanding with yourself than with others. You must always remember that people will do much more for you if you lead instead of drive them. One of your weakest spots is an inability to accept any criticism, which you equate with ridicule, with a loss of prestige, respect, and standing. Unfortunately, you have very little sense of humor when it comes to yourself, and to make matters worse, when you think you have been ridiculed, you feel deep and long-lasting rancor toward whomever you think responsible. Forgiveness must be learned by Capricornians, wrote Ben Ezra. He echoed what so many other astrologers of antiquity declared, that natives of the 10th sign are often relentless in holding grudges. Then, unfortunately, Saturnian influence frequently causes you Capricorns to be pessimistic, prone to deep depression, and to be bitter and cynical. These traits seriously hinder progress, and when present in the individual's personality, they must be overcome by utilizing Capricorn determination and perseverance to the full. Make the most of mind power. Capricorn endows very considerable intellectual powers, which are most frequently oriented in practical, down-to-earth directions. One problem many 10th sign natives face is that they limit their minds by cluttering them with rigid, preconceived ideas and concepts, to which they cling stubbornly. This prevents them from recognizing opportunities and from being able to adapt thought processes to new situations. Another all too familiar Capricorn obstacle to success is the inability to admit error, and obviously, when one is unable to recognize and define his or her mistakes, no amount of mind power can ever correct them. It is this shortcoming that so often causes Capricorn difficulty and causes other people to misjudge Capricorn as a dull, slow-minded, and pure-blind plotter. Paradoxically, and despite all that has been said about Capricorn tendencies to be traditionalists and cling to old ideas and methods, natives of this sign are ideally suited for careers in commerce and industry, as these operate today. The Capricorn mentality fits perfectly into the operative scheme of the ultramodern structured corporation and conglomerate. The Capricorn mind is, you know what? Whoa. See, this book was written 40 years ago, so talking about corporations. This is making me think of something. If the Capricorn mind is perfect for the corporation, and as the corporation is today, extremely rigid and plods and tries to control everything, the corporation is Capricornian, huh? Need another sip of tea, my people. Since this book was written 40 years ago, well, now we see 40 years later what American corporations are up to at about this time. It looks like they're trying to destroy the whole doggone world, what it looks like at this time. Anyway, the Capricorn mind is highly organized, methodical. It is completely at home with the organization chart, procedure manuals, the clearly defined stratification of authority and responsibility existing in the giant corporations and industrial complexes. It is also a mind that operates at optimum levels in big government, particularly at the upper levels. It's doubtful if you are the type to render instant decisions, Capricorn. You do not act or react by instinct or impulse. You need to study precedents, obtain opinion and advice of specialists, ponder and weigh, be absolutely certain that whatever decision you render will be in accordance with established rules and standards. While you have great courage of conviction, you are not a gambler or an adventurous type of person. We've said that obstacles do not deter you and that setbacks do not discourage you in pursuit of your goals, but it should be made clear that you do not like to take risks. Caution and prudence are Capricorn bywords, and it is within the framework they imply that you employ your mind power, determination, and perseverance to achieve your ambitions and gain success regardless of opposition and even reverses. The greatest strength of Capricorn mind is that refusal to concede defeat. You will continue to work, to hammer away, and eventually you will win. Interacting with others. Capricorns are not likely to have many intimate friends, confidants, or close business associates outside the circle of their own families. They are apt to be super discriminating in choosing their friends, and very often the social and financial standing of other people will be among the most important criteria for choosing and deciding with whom Capricorn will establish any sort of relationship. The 10th sign does not produce people who are extroverted, warm, or outgoing. These are attributes that Capricorns must develop and cultivate within themselves. Inherently, they are apt to be closed, reserved, unbending, and extremely critical of others. Severity and lack of sympathy are two qualities that frequently make it rather difficult for you Capricorns to interact with people. You are inclined to have little patience with the failings and weaknesses of those with whom you come into contact, and you do not hesitate to inform them of this in no uncertain terms. Consequently, you often grate on people, irritate them, and it's not unknown for them to throw the proverbial monkey wrench into your important works in an effort to prove to you that they're better and more important than you think. Obviously, these Capricorn traits are hardly of the sort to help you along the way to success in any situation. You pride yourself on being a disciplinarian, but you forget that discipline is commonly defined as willing obedience to the instructions of the leader. The time when people can be driven and browbeaten is long past. Leaders can no longer bark commands and expect to have them obeyed without question or hesitation. People must be motivated, or better still, inspired, to act, to carry out orders and follow directions. Appeal to the minds and hearts of your subordinates. This is an injunction to Capricornians, written by a Hebrew astrologer more than 2,000 years ago. It is as valid today as it was then, perhaps even more so, because human beings have acquired a sense of personal dignity and individual liberty, infinitely greater than they possessed in those distant days. Underneath it all, Capricorn, you have a strong desire to be liked. You long for the warmth of friendly human contact and wish to get along well with other people. There is no reason why you should not achieve these desires and thereby vastly increase your ability to obtain results and improve your own life and fortunes through the help and cooperation of others. It's necessary for you to loosen up, though. Drop that severe, aloof front. Be more concerned with getting along than with getting up in the world. Ease off on your harsh criticisms. Relax some of your hidebound attitudes and demands. Give the next person the benefit of the doubt once in a while. You'll soon discover that these comparatively simple steps will aid you greatly in getting ahead in life and in getting up in the world. Romantic relationships. Although not romantic, demonstrative, or very affectionate, Capricorns are acutely conscious of sex, and they have powerful erotic drives which usually manifest themselves in a desire for purely physical gratification. 10th sign natives are not spontaneous, outgoing lovers. The males are especially inclined to be rather perfunctory and matter-of-fact about their love-making. Here, of course, the Capricorn male is strongly influenced by the motifs implicit in the relationship Hebrew astrology establishes between the sign and Malkuth, or ancient rulership. The Capricorn male view toward members of the opposite sex is akin to that of the peoples of ancient civilizations who considered women lesser beings, unclean vessels, clearly subordinate to men. Even in this comparatively enlightened day and age, it is not unknown for a 10-sign male to look upon, or to be more accurate, look down upon women as little more than objects, chattels. Capricorn males who will treat their sweethearts, mistresses, or wives as equal partners are very probably still in the minority. It follows predictably that a Capricorn husband will be extremely protective and at the same time jealous and possessive. Oh my God. I need another sip of tea right there. Okay, yes. Let's start again. It follows predictably that a Capricorn husband will be extremely protective and at the same time jealous and possessive, demanding and domineering. It's not likely that he will share the secrets of his work or business affairs with his wife, nor is it probable that she will be allowed to know very much about his true financial status. Nonetheless, he will usually demand that she keep a tight rein on household and personal expenditures and require periodic and exact accountings of money spent. Why in the hell did I marry a Capricorn? Why do we do this? Why do we... Anyway. The Capricorn female is highly sexed, but she is not often interested in the romantic side of love. For the most part, females born under this sign consider sex a physical need that requires outlet, and they view deep emotional involvement as extraneous, even undignified. Oh my God. The stuff that he's saying about Capricorn, my God. Oh my God, okay. Thank God for the wheel. The other planets that come in and put balance on it. Because it's like, God, Capricorn is so kind of deviant from what he's saying here. My people, I don't mean any disrespect. We're only looking at the sun sign. That's why I'm saying thank God for the entire wheel. God knew what he was doing when he created us. We have a little bit of everything in us, okay? So no Capricorn has to be this severe. Once again, I'm only talking about the sun signs in this. But anyway, there is a distinctly calculating side to the nature of many Capricorn females. They do not enter into romantic liaisons without making long and careful study and assessment of their prospective partners. They must be certain that the men with whom they have affairs will not cause them any embarrassment or loss of prestige or position. Then it is hardly untypical of the 10th sign female to seek material advantage in any lasting liaison, and particularly in marriage. You, Miss Capricorn, are very apt to place financial security and social position above other considerations when selecting your mate. You want the solid, stable, totally reliable male for a husband. And very often you go to such extremes in these regards that the man you finally choose will be a dry, dull, and very stuffy person, an ultra-conservative and ultra-conformist. Capricorns of both sexes tend to be bossy, rather selfish and unforgiving in marital situations. Capricorn spouses are notorious for the relentless manner in which they seek to manage their mates, force them to follow the rigid, super-conventional, and conformist codes that are typical of the 10th sign. Annotators of the Zohar repeatedly warn that if Capricorns are to be happy in marriage, they must rid themselves of many built-in mental and emotional restrictions. They need to think less of prestige, status, and their image, and more of their own happiness and that of their mates. Then they should give greater weight to the need for emotional as opposed to financial security. Finally, 10th sign natives of both sexes must be more tolerant, force themselves out of narrow and inflexible molds, understand that there can be no happiness and harmony in life unless there is sympathy, humor, understanding, and a willingness to give as well as take. Whew, I feel tired just reading this. Mastery in the material sphere. The realm of the material, of financial security and success, of possessions and holdings, is Capricorn's natural environment. 10th sign people have a drive to accumulate and amass wealth, to gain the public regard, even awe, lavished on those who are rich, influential, and powerful. It is to this end that Capricorn exerts its tremendous energies, persevering with fierce determination in the face of adversity that would completely discourage others. There is another aim in Capricorn's indefatigable drive, and it has its roots in the 10th sign's dynastic outlook. This is a powerful urge to build fortunes in order that they may be handed down to succeeding generations. Ben Ezra, the other Jewish commentators on Kabbalah and Zohar, advanced the entirely logical theory that this drive is really a seeking for immortality. In other words, Capricorn believes that by creating great wealth, which can be bequeathed intact to lineal descendants, the individual perpetuates his name, his achievements, and indeed himself or herself. Capricorn qualities make the native ideally fitted for any sort of work or career involving money, figures, exact computations, finance. 10th sign folk are superb accountants, bankers, statisticians, actuaries, managers, administrators, and researchers. They excel in business, particularly when it is necessary to drive hard bargains, deal firmly with competitors, and maintain a cool, calculating, and unemotional posture. A Capricorn person is perfect for tasks requiring iron nerves and icy objectivity. Capricorn is capable of cutting costs, reducing labor forces, firing excess or incompetent personnel with the skill and detachment of a surgeon performing an operation. You Capricorns are also remarkably well aspected for success as investors, particularly after you have reached your 40th birthday, and provided that you invest in solid conventional enterprises. Real estate, non-ferrous mining, established manufacturing industries are all favorably indicated. However, you should avoid speculating in new fields, in so-called glamour industries. Always remember that you are innately long-term investors, not speculators, and that being Capricorns, you simply do not relate to the ultramodern, the novel, and the bizarre. Whew. Details by decans. First decan, December 22nd through the 31st, ruled by Jupiter, which offsets most malefic Saturnian influences. This is the most fortunate of Capricorn decanates. Persons born during this period are very likely to have most favorable aspects. They are also the least rigid and severe Capricorn types, and consequently, they have more success than their counterparts born in the other two decanates in their dealings and interactions with other people. Natives of this period are beset by fewer problems and difficulties than other Capricorns, and they usually have brighter, more optimistic dispositions. Second decan, January 1st through the 10th. Mars holds dominion over this segment of the zodiacal month and makes its influences adversely felt. Here we find false starts, setbacks, and reverses. The native is often required to perform much work that is wasted, then find it necessary to go back to the beginning and commence again. These are among the most pessimistic of all Capricorn types, and in compensation also the most tenacious and persevering. Third decan, January 11th through the 20th. The rulership of the Sun over this decanate does not have the benign effect one might expect. Here, the Sun continues its eternal conflict with Saturn, ruler of the sign, with a result that natives are likely to be brusque, abrasive, and short-tempered. They lack subtlety, tact. There is little finesse about them, and they often tend to have violent tempers. Nonetheless, they achieve success frequently, but only by all-out frontal assaults on their objectives. Whoa! Well, oh my God. I feel worn out just reading that. That just answered a whole bunch of stuff for me in my last marriage, my people. Oh my God. Oh, Lord of mercy. Yes, my people. Oh, that was our brother, the astrologer of the 70s, Reuven Shomroni of Ancient Astrological Secrets of the Jews Revealed. Man, I feel discombobulated right about now. Wow. That was heavy. That answers like the last 7. Let me stop. Oh my goodness. Okay, my people, yes. Anna Renee, your love power God, is sitting here tripping because astrologer Shomroni just revealed some stuff to me. He knew my whole life right there for the last 7, 8 years. Well, at least started at the year 2003 when I met my second husband and all that good stuff like that there. So yes, my people, Anna Renee, your love power God, is reading from the book Ancient Astrological Secrets of the Jews Revealed by astrologer Reuven Shomroni. Yes, and we were reading Capricorn, and the next one will be the sign of Aquarius, and I'll be reading that in a few weeks. So look forward to it, because that will be the end of the sequence of the entire astrological circle based on me having started at Pisces. Alright, my people, peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I hope you all enjoyed that reading, especially you who are Capricorn. And keep in mind, as I always state that we are a part of the wheel, so we have to always remember that all the other planets have their effects and shape who we are. So we can't go by solely the sun sign. And when you read these kinds of books, they can only talk about the sun sign because they are not the entire chart. You have to have a chart made so that you can understand the fullness of who you are, astrologically speaking. So don't feel discouraged by what I just read on Capricorn. Alright, my people? Especially you who are Capricorns. Okay, peace and love.